Good morning, this is Peace Azad again. And this morning, I want to make a video, part one, on the concept of or the topic of discontentment. I know that different people have different ideas about uh, the topic of discontentment, and some people think that discontentment is a sin. And I don't believe that as a psychologist. I believe that every human being must be in touch with parts of their life that they feel contentment and satisfied. And that I believe very strongly that even in the Baha'i writings, they say that we must take inventory of our life. We must bring ourselves to account, and even the 12-step program, one of the steps is to take inventory of our life. And I think it's very valuable to be in touch with the concept, with the idea, and the awareness that every human being at any given time, uh, it's important for them to be in touch with areas that they are contented and satisfied, and areas that they are discontented, so that they can improve on it. Because if we pretend that, oh, everything is great in my life, and then what we do is that we tolerate the parts that are not good, that are not healthy, that they are not beneficial. So we may be in an abusive relationship, and if we think, oh, discontentment is a sin, then we'll tell ourselves, oh, it's okay for me to remain in this abusive relationship because discontentment is a sin. Or if you are unemployed and feeling unhappy about it, or you're unhappy about your current job because you don't feel passionate about it, you don't love what you do, you're not using your skills, you're not making the money that you know you can make, and if you just lie to yourself or have a limiting belief that says discontentment is a sin and I shouldn't feel it, then what are you going to do? You're not going to make any beneficial changes, and you're just going to tolerate it. And one day you wake up and 20 years has passed and you are feeling miserable and stuck, and you could have used those 20 years to make beneficial changes into your life and create a life that is full of joy and inner peace. And I believe very strongly in God, and I have been a student of comparative religion for the last 42 years. I'm a Baha'i, but I also accept Christ and Muhammad and Krishna and Buddha and Zoroaster and Moses, all the spiritual teachers. And my understanding from the study of all these different religions, including the Baha'i faith, is that God created us out of love, and God wants us to live a life that is filled with joy and inner peace and a higher purpose for our existence. So nobody has to tolerate and live a life of quiet desperation. This is my belief system. And if this resonates with you, then you're going to enjoy the YouTube video that I'm making today about how to acknowledge discontentment and then how to release it. So the first thing that I like to do, for those of you who are new, I want to again explain how tapping works. Tapping is based on Chinese energy meridians that was discovered thousands of years ago. And when we tap, and there are 6 areas that we use, this is called the karate chop. So we use this part to state the problem. So for me, this is sometimes not sometimes. Right now, there are areas of my life that I feel very contented, and there are areas of my life that I feel discontentment. And I want to take responsibility and make changes in the parts of my life that I feel discontentment. So this is how we start. We say, even though I feel discontented in some areas of my life, I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself. And the reason we say this, whether we say love and accept, love and cherish, respect and cherish, respect and admire, accept and appreciate, it doesn't matter. Any of those words, whichever resonates better with you, use it. And it is the reason we say that is so that we feel centered and we realize that it doesn't matter what we are struggling with, because I'm a human being and my spirit is made in the image and likeness of God. I must treat myself with respect and with love and with acceptance and with encouragement. And then we will have the energy to make the necessary changes in our life and to take responsibility for our happiness and for our inner peace rather than blaming other people. Okay, so we do this 3 times. Even though there are parts of my life that I feel discontentment, I deeply and profoundly cherish and appreciate myself. Even though there are parts of my life at this point that I'm not happy and satisfied with, and I want to improve, I deeply and profoundly cherish and appreciate myself. Okay? So now we go to the energy, other tapping points, and they are in between your eyebrows or eyebrows, either on the outer corner of the right side of the body or the left side, under the eye. And this is our collarbone, so we go a little bit below the collarbone, and we can tap either on the right or the left, and then we hold our wrist, okay? And in addition, this is what I've added to Faster EFT, which has been founded by Robert Smith. And the part that I've added is like after we hold our wrist, I ask you to take a deep breath, and I will demonstrate everything for you. And I ask you to go to your spiritual guide, whoever you consider to be spiritually more evolved and developed than you, and someone in whose presence you feel unconditional love and acceptance. And that person could be one of the manifestations of God or all of them, like Christ, Buddha, Krishna, Muhammad, Zoroaster, Moses, Baha'u'llah, the Bab, or you can go to one of the human beings who to you were a role model of spirituality and working to make a difference in this world, like Gandhi, Martin Luther King, Mother Teresa, Nelson Mandela, and many others. And or you can go to a deceased family member that you feel was very highly spiritually awakened, and they walked their talk and they loved you very much, and in their presence you always felt loved and accepted and guided. Okay, so now we start. So the first thing we say is we give ourselves permission to feel our discontentment, because many of us were raised in families and in cultures where we were told that we are not supposed to feel certain feelings and emotions, and that certain feelings and emotions were bad or made us feel weak. Um, and so like a lot of people like are afraid to show sadness or show fear or show anger or disappointment and many, many other emotions, And actually, emotions were given to us by God to help us realize that we need to pay attention to something that is very important. And if we deny our emotions, and you can watch my video about denial, if we deny our emotions, then where are they going? If we say, I'm going to forget, where is it going to go? If you try to forget something, it goes to your unconscious mind or subconscious mind, and then it controls your life. So want, I don't want to be controlled by my emotions. And if you want to be in charge of your life, you don't want to be controlled by your emotions. So the way to deal with emotions and hurt and trauma and pain, emotional pain, is to release it, release those emotions, acknowledge them and release them, not to suppress them, which is, oh, it's not, I'm going to pretend that it didn't happen to me, or I'm going to deny it, like, no, it's not really there, or it's not really hurting me, or repression, which happens to us automatically because we do it so often. You know, like something happens and you feel sad, and maybe your mother or father or grandparents or someone said to you, it's don't cry. It's a sign of weakness to cry. Don't be a sissy. You know, don't be weak. And in fact, sadness is a very strong emotion. It's a very powerful emotion. And if it wasn't, God wouldn't give us the ability to cry when we feel sad, when we lose someone, when we are disappointed. Okay, so the first thing is to acknowledge that. So we can say something like, it is safe and beneficial for me to acknowledge my feelings of discontentment in any part of my life. It is safe and beneficial for me to feel all the feelings that are associated with my feelings of discontentment, such as unhappiness, feeling dissatisfied, feeling bored. Yeah, because boredom could be a sign of being discontent in part of your life. Maybe your soul desires for you to be of greater service in your community, and you're not doing anything to help other people through pure and good action. So you feel discontented with a life that just allow the way you're living your life right now might be very shallow. Maybe you just get up in the morning and just eat and go to work, but you go to a work that you have no passion for, you have no interest, and then all day long you're looking at your watch and saying, oh, I wish this would finish sooner so I can go home and I can go and do this or do that, you know? So feelings of discontentment actually are a gift. So we give ourselves permission to feel all the feelings that are associated with our feelings of discontentment. Sadness, anger, disappointment, maybe lack of courage, procrastination, whatever. So whatever we are aware or not even aware of. And then we go to our collarbone and we tap. And if feelings of discontentment, or you're just becoming aware of it as you watch this DVD, this YouTube video, if you feel like on a scale of 0 to 10, the emotional charge for discontentment is very high, like 10 is the highest, and it feels to you, oh, it's even like a 15. Like most of the day when I observe myself, I'm not feeling happy inside. I'm not feeling fulfilled. Then you can even tap both sides, okay? So when we tap below our collarbone, we can say like it's safe and beneficial for me not only to feel all my feelings of discontentment, but to release them, to let them go. Because there's no value in holding on to these feelings and emotions. We want to kind of like empty our cup. Like imagine a cup. If this cup is filled three-fourths with discontentment and things you're unhappy about, feel dissatisfied, what tapping does, it allows you to empty it. Okay? And then fill it up with things that you feel passionate about, that you love, so that you can be more joyful, more peaceful, and live more of a meaningful life, following your calling and your passions and what you love. And God will be happier with us because God wants us to be happy. God does not want us, in my understanding and study of all these different religions and spiritual teachers, God does not want us to live a life of quiet desperation. So this is a limiting belief. If you believe that it is better to live a life of quiet desperation, then you are holding on to a limiting belief. So here we can say it's safe and beneficial for me to release and let go of all my limiting beliefs that says to me that I'm not supposed to live a happy and joyful life. a life that is filled with meaning and purpose and is in alignment with the purpose for which God created me, which is to make this world a better place through pure and good action. So let it go, and then you hold your wrist and you say, I'm so ready to let go of all my feelings and emotions that is limiting my life and is not allowing me to take inventory of my life and see what parts of my life I experience discontentment and what parts I feel contentment, and what I can do to release the discontentment and take action to create contentment in the areas that I'm unhappy about. Okay, and then take a deep breath. And now I want you to become quiet and go to the presence of your spiritual guide, whoever that person is to you, and then ask them for guidance. Ask them for strength and for courage, and tell them, how do I give myself permission to even look at areas of my life that I feel discontented? Maybe I feel discontented with my job. Maybe I feel discontented with some of my relationships. Maybe I feel discontented about the way I eat. Maybe, and my health, my lack of energy. Maybe I feel discontented with my weight. Maybe I'm overweight and I don't want to be so overweight. Maybe I am discontented uh, with my inner feelings of hopelessness and despair and depression and anger and fear and any other feelings and emotions that are within me. So ask your spiritual guide to help you to feel positively about what you see, which area of your life you feel discontented, and ask for guidance. Say, what is it that I can do? I want to take responsibility and I want God to help me and I want you to help me to bring about positive change in my life and not and stop blaming other people for the way I feel or the way my life is right now. Help me to release all my feelings of helplessness and hopelessness and overwhelm, and then become quiet and listen to guidance. See what is the first step you're supposed to take. And when you have received your guidance, then open your eyes. And if we were doing a session right now together, either on Skype or we were sitting next to each other, then I would ask you to share with me what was your guidance. So since I cannot do that, I can share with you my guidance. My guidance was that you've already taken the first step. The first step is to bring yourself to account, take inventory, look at your life, and I want to show you something. So what you can do is take a piece of paper and draw a circle and write down the word life. So this is your life, okay? And now I want you to draw lines um, about different aspects of your life. Like for example, write down where you live, okay? Are you happy where you live? Like I am very contented where I live because I live on a coffee plantation on top of the mountain in a small mountain town called Boquete in Panama. And I wake up with the chirping of the birds. I look at blue sky. I uh, breathe clean air, I drink clean water, I'm surrounded by nature, I have time to write my book and make my YouTube videos, do my blog, and grow my business. And so, and I've been here for a year, and I've also had the opportunity to continue with my own emotional healing. So I feel so much more centered and so much less controlled by my emotions that used to make me feel real depressed and anxious and worried, and feeling more trusting of God. So for me, this is positive. So when something is positive, then you can just go like this. Or you can draw some heart. Okay? Heart means you love this part of your life. Okay? But for example, if you don't, then you can put X on it. Like this is creating unhappiness for you. Do you understand? And then you can do the same. Like you can go here and write work. Like I'm very happy with the kind of work I do. But if you're not, put X. If you're happy, put heart. Then you look at your relationships. Are there any relationships in your life that is very harmonious right now? So you can write like relationship with friend, with mother, with father, with brothers, sisters, daughters, sons, neighbors, co-workers, boss. And what you want is list the ones that are harmonious and are a source of support and joy. And then here you can list the ones that are not harmonious. So it means you have to do something about them. You have to change, make certain changes in those relationships. Okay, so relationships. So you look at every aspect of your life. For example, another aspect could be health. And you look and see health, right? You see it? Yeah, health. Okay. So are you healthy? Are you eating healthy? Do you have lots of energy? Do you feel burnout? What are you doing about it? Okay. And so you take inventory of every aspect of your life. Like another aspect of your life is your spirituality. And spirituality to me is our relationship with God, with Source. Do you feel that do you trust God? Do you feel that God is your best friend? Do you take time every day to talk to God, which is called prayer, to read the Word of God as revealed in all the holy books of all the religions? Do you reflect on it? Do you make effort to align your life with the laws and teachings of God? Because that brings joy and blessing in our life and draws us closer to the source. And the source is where we can get pure and unconditional love. So a lot of people like neglect their spirituality. So you take inventory of your spirituality, your health, your relationships, your work, where you live, and then what you do with your free time. Like, how do you spend your free time? Do you feel bored most of the time? Like, do you turn to addictions? Do you watch a lot of TV or spend a lot of time surfing on internet, playing video games, or even reading a lot? That can be an addiction because it's a distraction. And then you also look at how you live a life of service, because that's the purpose of life. The purpose of life, you see it, is to live a life of service, to do pure and good action and help other people and make the world a better place. So here I have listed service, what you do with your free time, spirituality, health, um, Relationships, both positive and negative relationships, uh, positive, negative, of work. So once you take inventory, and then where you live, and if there is any other area um, that right now is present for you that I haven't listed, just add as many uh, areas in your life as it is a concern, whether it's positive or negative. If it is positive, then you can feel contentment and satisfied. And if it is negative, you can feel discontentment and ask yourself, and then we're going to tap to release the areas that we feel discontented. So we're going to tap one more time. Um, uh, it is safe and beneficial. Now that I have taken inventory and I have clarity about the parts of my life that I have great contentment and the parts of my life that I feel discontent. And I want to take responsibility to change the discontentment into contentment and have clarity what are the things that I can do on a daily basis to bring more joy, more peace and inner joy and more contentment into my life, more satisfaction. Okay? And I'm so ready for this new life experience. I am so ready for it. And I'm releasing all my fears and all my limiting beliefs. Let it go, and then close your eyes. And then go in the presence of your spiritual guide and sit quietly and ask for guidance and strength and courage so that you can take responsibility to change what needs to be changed in those areas that you feel discontent. And then once you have your guidance, again, if you were here, we would share it. So my guidance was that this is a process that daily I need to observe myself and continue to bring myself to account and take inventory, um, and that I need to be content with little changes, little by little, day by day. Um, in other words, we don't have a magic wand that suddenly like and we can move and all the discontentment is going to disappear. No, we need to become, the first step is to become really aware. The more, and we become more aware by giving ourselves permission to really be in touch with our feelings and to be observant that when these feelings of discontentment shows up, that instead of immediately turning to an addiction, and that's what most people do, or turn to a denial, you know, that we take some quiet time and just sit and be quiet and connect with the source and pray and ask for guidance and then look at and take responsibility and start making small changes. Okay, so that was my guidance. I want to stop at this point because I don't want to make this part one very long, and in part two we will continue. I wish you a blessed day, and please get in touch with me if you have any questions or comments, or if you want to do an individual session with me. You can contact me through my email or my Skype. All right, take care and talk to you soon. Bye.